Welcome to Akshara Foundation's video on angles. You can use the protractor and clock given in Akshara's math kit to help students understand the concept and measure of angles. Ask your students to draw a line alongside the long edge of a notebook. Add another line alongside the width of the notebook. When the notebook is removed, we see that the two straight lines meet at a point. The measure of the space between the two lines at this point is called the angle. The two lines are called the arms of an angle, and the point where they meet is called the vertex. Show a picture of a tree with many branches. Ask students to notice how angles are formed at different parts of the tree. Can they discover angles within the classroom? Give a clue to get them thinking. Point to the corner where two walls meet, or the edge of a table. Draw a triangle and ask students to point out the sides of the triangle and mark the angles. Let them draw figures with two or more sides and mark the angles on the figures. Take the clock from the math kit. Set the time at 4 o'clock. Do they notice that an angle is formed by the arms of the clock? Now, set the time at 1 o'clock. Check whether students notice that when it is 1 o'clock, the angle between the two arms is smaller than when the clock shows 4 o'clock. How do we measure an angle? The instrument used to measure an angle is the protractor in Akshara's math kit. Point out the markings on the protractor, which are called degrees. The space between two markings is a degree. This protractor has two arms. Let us keep both arms at 0. Keep one arm fixed and start rotating the second arm. Students can notice that at every point in its rotation, an angle is formed. When one arm is at 0 degrees and the second arm is at 90 degrees, it is called a right angle. If the two arms are called AB and CB, then the angle formed at B is called angle ABC. In this case, angle ABC is equal to 90 degrees. This can be written in two ways. The letter in the center is the vertex. Observe how we use a symbol to write degrees. Can we see anything within the classroom which is at right angles? The two adjacent edges of the blackboard are at right angles to each other. Ask students whether they can stretch out their arm in a right angle to the body. Similarly, when the clock shows 3 o'clock, the arms form a right angle. On the protractor, when the second arm stops before 90 degrees, the angle is less than a right angle and is called an acute angle. Show the clock with time at 1 o'clock. Let students name some examples of acute angles around them. When the second arm is rotated beyond 90 degrees and stops at 180 degrees, the two arms form a straight line and the angle is called a straight angle. Point out that there is a straight angle on both sides of the vertex. They must notice that 180 degrees is half of 360 degrees and is also half of the circle. On the clock, when it is 3:45, the arms form a straight angle. Can students now show any other examples of a straight angle? Remind them that a straight line cannot be an example of a straight angle because an angle is formed when the two arms meet at a point. Look at this angle, which is 125 degrees. It is more than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. Such angles are called obtuse angles. We can see an obtuse angle when the clock shows 5 o'clock, for instance. Ask students to name the angles formed at different times on the clock. One complete rotation of the arm of the protractor will trace a circle. The arm has moved through 4 right angles or through 90 degrees multiplied by 4, which is equal to 360 degrees. This angle, which measures 360 degrees, is called a complete angle. The protractor in Akshara's kit is a complete protractor and can measure 360 degrees. The protractor in a geometry box can measure 180 degrees clockwise and anti-clockwise. Draw a few polygons and ask students to mark the angles and name them. Students enjoy working in groups. Once they grasp these concepts, they will be confident of answering any problems.